Winner Bracket Summerfinal number 2. The 10-year anniversary cup for Heroes of the Storm continues, everybody. And we have now the Enjoyers against DDX. Deep Dive Extreme. I honestly have no idea whatsoever why they have that team name. If there's a story behind it. If somebody is taking diving lessons. If this is some weird porn reference. I have absolutely no clue. I really don't know. It's just such a weird team name that I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay. But yeah, we got the Enjoyers, and the Enjoyers are actually playing with Mopsio. So, there's a lot of fun stuff going on right now. Enjoyers, always a fun team. The Polish boys here with a Blaze ban. Best of 3 series, by the way. So we have best of 5 matches in the group stage as well. The winner bracket final, the consolation match in the lower bracket, and the losers bracket final are all best of 5s. But the initial games are all best of 3 matches. So yeah, let's have a bit of a look of what exactly the teams are going for. And also, which team takes it? Because the Enjoyers are obviously a strong and established team. But then on the other side, we have Lopaka playing, we have Dead Inside. We got Shizakid over here, Danazovsky. There's a lot of really good players on the red team too. And if I learned one thing in this group already, then it's that you shouldn't make any assumptions, because we had some upsets already and some pretty impressive ones at that. So now I also want to see what Mopsio is going to do here. Obviously, he was always a bit of a colorful character throughout his entire career in Heroes of the Storm, always playing the game on or off. But now we have on Infernal Shrines, our starting map in the best of 3. We get a lot of side laners banned out. Hogger, Dehaka, Blaze, all banned. And Sylvanas again as a first pick. That has now happened a couple of times here already. So Sylvanas as a first pick. Totally deserved, by the way. Absolute badass. And over on the right side, let's see what we're going to get as our double pick. Kind of excited for this one. Mainly because I'm looking at the 2 teams and I can't really call it. And then we get a D.Va first pick. So that came a bit out of nowhere. Definitely okay with that. The janitor is in the house. We're getting Leoric. But yeah, seeing D.Va as a first pick is also pretty cool. We had a few games in both groups where there were very early picks where I was just like, alright, what's going on here? Now, well, with Richo locking in his side lane immediately, we now have Mopsio and Diablo. So that's already a true and tried front line for them. Diablo plus Leoric. And honestly, a good Diablo play on Infernal Shrines is always fun to watch. I mean, just bullying people around, stunning them into all of the walls that you have around the shrines. Diablo's pretty epic. It makes me miss Breeze and his Diablo plays. When he had his toxic Diablo skin come in and just would body people completely. I mean, there's still clips out there where Breeze just single-handedly destroyed entire teams. Wasn't it, I think it was Fan at some point that got absolutely murdered by Breeze's Diablo. Fan played Tracer, and Breeze just demolished him with Diablo and got solo kill after solo kill, and Fan at the end of the match just said like, yeah, let's make sure that we don't give this guy Diablo again. It was actually pretty fun. So yeah, I don't think we're going to get the same level here from Mopsio, but still, a good Diablo player is always very entertaining. So we get Tychus and we get Muradin. Tychus with the transformation, of course. Can get the quick Odin transformation on any objective. It's going to be interesting if they're fighting for the first one. Oftentimes with Tychus, you're trying to let the first one go and really just commit on the second one. Try and get just counter damage on the first Punisher. But again, we'll see. Oriel and Gul'dan. Oriel getting played more and more and more and more. She's absolutely arrived in the meta, of course. Patch changes over the last couple of months have made her a much better alternative compared to others. Again, it's the usual. Some get a couple of small nerfs, other heroes get small buffs, and all of a sudden you have a switch in how the meta plays out, and that's always welcome. But Oriel, she's definitely here. Having a lot of fun with her throughout the tournament already, with Resurrect at times too. Now we get Genji as our final pick. And well, with that we're heading into map number 1. We got the Enjoyers against DDX, Infernal Shrines, map number 1. The Enjoyers in blue over on the left with Arian on Sylvanas, rocking the Might of the Banshee Queen on level 1. Mopsio, again, playing Diablo. We got the Richu on Leoric, Itrax on Gul'dan, and Makotzel is playing Oriel. I've seen Oriel a lot lately, and she's been fun so far. Cracking the whip every now and then. With DDX over on the right side now in red with Lopaka on Genji. We got Dead Inside on Tychus, going for a grenade build. D.Va gets played by Virgil. Nazovsky is playing Brightwing, and we got Shizakid on Muradin. So, let the games begin. It is party time. Who is going to get the lead in the series? Who will move on to the winner bracket final to try and get an immediate slot for the playoffs? With Gul'dan, you obviously have a lot of wave clear already. Going into Ruinous Affliction with level 16, as Echoed Corruption has been picked on level 1. So we're going to be looking for that synergy here. A little bit of pleb horseplay. I like that. That's actually nice. Look at this. The color coordination here is pretty epic. Not really what I would have expected, but I like it. Makotzel, thumbs up. That's a pretty cool combo. Nice mount. Color coordination is perfect. So, yeah, that is definitely... That's an A tier, S tier combo that we're seeing here. It's a little bit different. Not what you would typically look for with Oriel, but I'm absolutely on board with it. So Makotzel, definitely a big thumbs up. Kudos. Now, camps are up. We're gonna see which team is gonna get more, but it seems like actually they're going for the neutral one here. Look at the rotation on the minimap though. They will have to fall back. This is a full 5 versus 4 set that's going to happen here any second now. And they fall back, they just let it go. So they lose some time, but at least they're still healthy. Hauptsache gesund. At the top, Leoric is pushing the Janitor with an epic mount. Very unique, very epic. And the fight is still breaking out at the bottom of the map. The red team is aggressive. They're very aggressive. They're looking for opportunities time and time again to invade a camp and maybe even steal it away. They already took the first Khazras here. Took the goats. And got those pretty easily. Also, talking about easy stacks for Gul'dan. My boy is sitting at 10 stacks already. Bigger they are against Diablo from Tychus. And we get Muradin with a Reverberation. The talent still tilts me. It absolutely tilts me. This talent just makes me angry because you literally have another talent that is not called Reverberation that has a second hit. It reverberates. It connects again. So my theory is that somebody on the side of Blizzard was just absolutely flat out drunk when he came for the talents and he just mixed things up. It was just like, oops, and then it was already in the game and they were like, yeah, well, my bad. That's my theory. Possession on Sylvanas, and we got Neil Peasant. I like Leo's talents. Leo is always kind of amazing. Love him.
Say hello to your sister for me.
I will. Yeah. Some Shuriken Mastery here for Genji, so got a couple of stacks for him too. Oriel is starting to whip things into shape, getting stacks on level 4. Yeah, and off we go. So that's the first objective, and that's a Frozen Punisher. So the red team would be well advised to actually fight for this one. I posed the question in the draft if they are going to make a play for it, because with Tychus, you oftentimes wait for objective number 2. But with the Frozen Punisher, you kind of don't want to do that. D.Va gets absolutely crushed here as she was trying to boost off the shrine. And that kill is obviously cementing the situation of the blue team even further now. They're already working with Sylvanas and Gul'dan on the wall, while the Frozen Punisher is going to give them the perfect tool to go for the fort immediately. So that's dangerous. It's really dangerous for the Enjoyers. For DDX. For the Enjoyers, it's great. Level 7 talents, Frozen Punisher, wall already destroyed. I mean, what more can you actually ask for? Easy stacks for Gul'dan, who's now sitting at 19. Half the team is already low. D.Va has to try and use her explosion to keep him at bay. And then, yeah, the mech just gets whipped. And all of a sudden, they're clearing the distance there. So this fort is insanely low. It might not fall right now, but it's so super low that this is just a matter of time. I mean, anybody that pushes in for just a moment is going to destroy that. Gul'dan, for example, could just come in and drop some corruption on it And that would be the end of it. Genji. Yeah, they're not going for him. Well, actually, okay, Lopaka is able to zip out, but they wanted a fort in the first place. Any kill here would have been an added advantage, but they were really going for the fort. So Genji gets away. Sylvanas could still technically try and push a bit at the top, and that's exactly what they're doing right now. So they're starting to open the wall up as well. Damn. These guys are really pushing their advantages, the enjoyers. Very nice. That's a lot of damage on that wall of the keep, and we are super early in the game. I mean, we're 5 minutes in. Not only has the first fort been destroyed, but they've also been doing damage here, so good for them. Gul'dan is already back down at the bottom of the map. He's halfway done with his quest. If you get it done at level 16, you're golden. Anything earlier than that is just awesome. So he's getting work done. And, yeah. While this all plays out, we now have, again, Shizakid targeted at the front. The drain from Leoric. It's a full 5-man here. D.Va is at the top. They are just creating these opportunities time and time again on the lanes against the red team, and they're looking fantastic doing it. Now, this can all still backfire. The forward was a huge win, but yeah, they're not that heavily ahead yet. If you're looking over to the experience lead, for example, the passive experience is slowly starting to tick in that advantage for the enjoyers. But they now have level 10 abilities, and it might be a small window, only half a level, but they're using it right away to try and get some extra damage at the bottom of the map connected on that fort. So they're pushing for structures, and we're still very early in the game. We haven't even seen the second objective yet. 6 minutes in, they get more than 50% of the objective destroyed, and then they slowly fall back here. Arian, bit low, level 10 ready on both sides. X-Strike! Genji gets bullied immediately, and there's the party play from Diablo. Lightning Breath, but Mopsio is dead. Stayed a second too late and gets killed, so Mopsio's gone. He just completed his soul stacks though, so he's gonna be back in another moment. But, yep, not too bad. So, Shizakid here, again. Yeah, so gotta be careful with Mopsio now starting to move around. We're having Lopaka move in at the top again, trying to force Arian back now too. And down at the bottom of the map, yeah, they're going for the next camp. I mean, the next objective is now coming up, and we're currently looking at a situation in which each team has gotten one single kill so far. Structurally, obviously, the enjoyers are ahead, duh. But the next fight is going to be a bigger indicator. It's the first real battle that we have at level 10 abilities. And also, of course, the commitment that Odin would make. He's currently on cooldown in it, so that's a bit of a problem. Had to use it earlier in that fight at the bottom of the map. And we'll see what he can do here. Yeah, Mopsio starting to bully Muradin around. Now we also have Gul'dan with just an enormous amount of stacks. I mean, he is at 35 right now. Aegis used! Gul'dan is gone! They might lose D.Va. Yeah, no wall stun. Oh, well, actually, Muradin gets stunned, but he still has Avatar up. Brightwing is also on point. We have 18 to 11 stacks on the objective, but it's still a 5 versus 4. The enjoyers are down one hero, and all the efforts of Richu can not win them the objective that easily. Gul'dan is back, so they could try and fight for this again. They had also Sylvanas at the bottom of the map for just a second, trying to put more pressure onto that bot side forward, but now with Gul'dan coming back, they need the entire team here. And they're fighting this a little bit too early. Richu is already low. Here comes Odin once again. Sylvanas low. Leo, yeah, sacrifices himself here. And still has the vision for the team. It's close though. 34 to 27, but I think they have to let this one slide. DDX is going to take it. Blue team is not able to get the kill here. So we have a Mortar Punisher for the red team. But still this play at the bottom of the map for the fort. Sylvanas gets also attacked and she has no chance. Too many heroes that are starting to chase her down. They all of a sudden appear from everywhere. Yeah, they're playing whack-a-mole here. And they whacked Sylvanas pretty good. So she's gone. And she would have been a real nice asset to have as they're trying to defend here. So if you look at the kill count now, it's 4 to 1 all of a sudden. So 4 kills to 1. Yeah, looking pretty good on that. Now, another whip into the wall. X-Strike once more. Stormbolt, yep. But they're not connecting anything. The fort still stands, so the situation remains the same. Only one team has been able to take a fort out, but D.Va is, wow, saved by Trashwing. The Fruit Fly. Who would have thought? Useful all of a sudden. They're still following it up with another wall stun, and now Genji is on the menu, and he goes down. So, yeah, the Enjoyers, they're definitely not just simply letting this one slide. After the attack against them, they're now very eager to repay the opponent in kind, and they're coming in with attack after attack. Even a Horrify combo that now eliminates Muradin, and that allows them to take another fort out. So, they are coming back with a vengeance here. Absolutely ruthless plays that get them even in kills with the opponent's team and allow them to take out the second fort, and obviously this one is already so low that they can easily take this one out too. So that's 3 forts destroyed, 10 minutes in, and yeah, they can still go for the camps here, steal those away too. We have 34,000 damage now from Tychus. He's the top dog right now, but 34k also essentially for Gul'dan, who still has to come back into a little bit more damage on his own side. But let's not forget he gets the next talent here. Also is Ruinous Affliction, so even more synergy for that level 1 talent, which is already wreaking havoc. Half a level is currently missing for that level 16 talent. Oriel is the only one that hasn't died yet. And the red team, they now need to be a bit careful here, because their opponent is still looking for more opportunities and kills. Muradin, yeah, he's gonna get away, jumps out, but the camp, they use the level 16 talent now to go for the camp. The red team might actually be willing to fight for this, as it seems. So yeah, there's the bunny hop. Camp is still being contested. Leo goes down, and they take it. Good job by DDX. That was really an important one. DDX is able to keep their own camp in play, and now they go for Mopsio again. Diablo is a bit low, but that's not the only one that they're going for. Aegis has to be used by Oriel. She's trying to escape here. Sylvanas with a Wailing Arrow, and Oriel falls just as the Shrine activates. So, good efforts by DDX. They were behind, they didn't have a level 16 talent, they were still willing to engage into a fight, didn't accept that their camp would be stolen, and the blue team was just too confident. So what happens is that they lose 2 of their heroes. Leo, not that big of a deal, he's going to be back soon, but Oriel is now down for another 24 seconds, and the Shrine will be activated. Also, in addition to that, DDX has now been able to get their own level 16 talent. That gives us the sizzling attacks, and we got Final Cut, plus also Stone Form for Muradin after the Bronzebeard Rage on 13. So, without Oriel, it's a bit tough. Talking about Oriel, by the way, with the Reservoir of Hope on level 16, we now have 4 stacks, and we have 5 stacks on a level 4 talent. Damn. Gul'dan just murdering structures here with the help of Sylvanas. So yeah, Oriel is back, but the Punisher has been taken. Arcane Punisher, but they're trying to force the fight at the top. Genji has the X-Strike out. Yeah, that Entomb did nothing. That Horrify, on the other hand, was on point. So they're still trying, but they can't get that kill. But everybody is forced to the top. So the Punisher is alone at the bottom of the map, and this isn't over. Here comes the bunny hop for D.Va. Muradin jumps in, does not get stunned. The wall was a bit too far away, as Diablo was hoping to get some CC on him. Uses Avatar, gets drained, and they're all just falling back to the fort. But the Punisher at the bottom of the map, the Arcane Punisher, is going to destroy that fort. So this one is going to fall. It's the first one that falls on the blue team side. They have already destroyed 3 of DDX, so they're going to be fine with this. And now the chance to maybe force another fight here. D.Va has rotated into the middle and was hoping to take fort number 2 out. But they want to go for that keep. Damn! They are just going for that 5 versus 5. D.Va isn't here yet, so I guess technically it's a 4 versus 5 for now. But she already halved back. Odin is used too, so they can just fall back again. They baited out some cooldowns and now are slowly starting to retreat. Atrax with a very, very nice dodge on the Stormbolt. And he has his Horrify up in another 4 seconds. He's been doing fantastic with that ult. But what worries me is this. That Punisher is doing so much work here, and this keep is gonna fall. It's Winion time, guys. Enjoyers have never sent a hero back to deal with either the minion waves or with the Punisher, and now instead of just losing a fort, they're losing a keep. For free, essentially. Well, maybe the keep makes it. I actually think they can barely save it. Oh, it's so close. Yeah, the keep is still there, but let's be honest, Genji or someone else is going to grab it eventually. That was not needed. That is way too much damage on that thing for absolutely no reason whatsoever. If they killed the keep at the top, then maybe you can make the argument that's an even trade, but still. So, quick whip. They go for D.Va again. Horrify has been used too, but they can't get that kill. D.Va moves out, not even the mech gets destroyed. 61,000 damage now for Tychus. 59,000 for Gul'dan. And for now, we're talking talents, it's the 20s that we're looking at. But yeah, Leo is slowly pushing that lane out, but I still think that Genji is eventually going to make a move. Talking about making moves! They're trying to force fights again! Muradin! Damn! Oh, the Entomb is on point! Muradin got nearly killed after Sylvanas used the Wailing Arrow, but Leo definitely put a nail into that coffin. That's a kill! Muradin is gone. And we've already seen the blue team being aggressive the entire time, even when they didn't have an advantage. Now they're about 8 level 20 talents, and they have a numbers advantage. So hell yeah, they're gonna go for it. They're pushing the middle of the map. With the help of Gul'dan, they burn another wall down within seconds. And since they have their Storm talents, they are going for the keep. And I think this time, without Muradin being here for DDX, that's going to be a keep gone, and they might even go for the double. They're rotating towards the top, and they're totally willing to go for this one here too. So, boy, are they exploiting these little advantages that they have. The keep does not get destroyed yet. Any kind of damage on this thing, and it's gone. And Sylvanas delivers, so that's 2 keeps eliminated. And let's not forget that the Enjoyers have only lost a single fort so far. And there's another shrine active. That's the next problem. Another shrine is activating right now, and there is no way for the red team to get level 20 in time. They might get it so that they can still try and engage into the shrine, but at least the start... Actually, I don't know if they get the minion wave down at the bottom of the map, you know what, they might get that after all. The red team should still be a bit late to the party, but... Oh god, they're so close. They need that minion wave here. They're trying to force the fight. Ops is a little bit low. They go for Muradin again. Sylvanas jumps in and out very, very quickly. D.Va, the next one that gets attacked. D.Va! And she makes it out. D.Va makes it out of the fight. Diablo is just burning them to a crisp the entire time. Still no level 20 talent for the red team. Shizakid jumps out, gets attacked, healed. Hellgate even being used. But there's the shield from Oriel. She tops at 20 and is able to keep everybody in play. That's a huge problem, by the way. Winions at the top with catapult support against the red team's core. In comes Odin. Gets used right away. Virgil still low. 5 versus 5 with level 20 talents. The core is being attacked. Genji low. Genji in trouble. Barely able to get out. The shield on the core is losing. The shield on the core is currently getting absolutely crushed. Core will take damage, and the next catapult is already on its way. Little bit of damage done, but not enough, and eventually the minions are going to take it down. But at the same time, buried alive from Leoric, and it's Leo that falls. Leo dies, but what about Muradin? Genji and Muradin, big swift strike right now. And the Aegis on Gul'dan. Oriel falls, Gul'dan falls. DDX, ladies and gentlemen. They're actually starting to pull the fight off. The problem is that the core is at 73% and the next catapult is already on his way. The fight up here at the top is still raging on, with Sylvanas thinking that she can do it by herself, and the answer is no, it's not happening. Nope. So she's dead too. Diablo is the only survivor, and there's the frozen Punisher. They weren't able to get the Punisher. Catapults are now on the core, and they are hitting hard. D.Va is coming back, but the core is down to 56% already. How quickly can the red team now do damage? Can they go for the core and end the game here? Because if they don't, then they're still going to look at a core that could be backdoored at any point in time. I think a keep here is inevitable, but yeah. 8 seconds for Oriel. The problem is that both of the damage dealers are also still dead. Gul'dan at least is back in 5. So they're trying to buy a little bit of time. Mopsio gets away with the Hellgate. Mopsio gets away. Gul'dan is back and is starting to take the Punisher out. They want to end the game now, of course. They know that they're in trouble. Ending the game at this point is the best that could happen for DDX. They're trying, and the core is losing hit points. They have only 56% on their own core. Can they end it here? And it looks like they can. Brightwing is gone. Core at 40, at 30, 20. And it's game? Yes, it is. DDX with a victory in game number 1 against the Enjoyers. GG.
Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV.
Gun of Terror, alrighty, DDX is in the lead. Bit surprising towards the end. The core was already taking damage. The Enjoyers trying to defend, but couldn't. I really question the... I mean, they were trying to get the Punisher, and even when they were already down a couple of heroes, they thought that they were so close to getting the Punisher that it was worth just YOLOing into the objective and trying to win it, and they didn't. It's a tough call to make. In hindsight being 2020, obviously it would have been better to just accept that they lose the objective, but have more heroes being able to defend. But that, at the end of the day, really lost them the game there. They had so much going for them already with all of the keeps that were taken out and the catapults themselves already attacking the red team's core. But the red team, with a big objective, able to start the comeback, initiate it, and take down the core and lead now in the series. So good for them. Second map is Garden of Terror. Map choice made by DDX, which means that the blue team went for first pick, first ban. So in case that you're not really familiar with how this usually works, but in pretty much every single tournament that you play, once that the map is lost, the loser makes a choice. They have to choose between taking first pick and first ban on the next map, or decide which map is being played. And in this case, clearly DDX deciding which map they want to play on. So we'll see how Garden of Terror is going to work out for them. Apparently, even after winning the last one, they're just saying, you know what, Diablo, not really. Sylvanas gets banned too. So already taking a couple of the lessons from the previous ones. We'll see if the side lane gets targeted again, if they're targeting Ritual once more with the ban pattern. DDX, that is. But I'm kind of curious what kind of strategy they have now on Garden of Terror. So Chromie gets banned. That leaves Hogger open, so if you want to have a really strong side laner that can take camps quickly, Hogger would be a good choice. They prefer the global, so they take Dehaka. No hesitation. Team comes in, locks Dehaka in immediately for Richu. Great pick for him, of course, too. And, well, let's not forget, this is the winner bracket semi-final. The winner moves on to the winner bracket final and has a direct shot at qualifying for the playoffs, whereas the loser drops down into the lower bracket and will have to go through a loser's bracket run if they want to qualify directly. But the good news, of course, still is that even if you lose here, you have another chance. Muradin plus Rhaegar for DDX. And I'm curious what they can pull off now. I mean, keep in mind, game number 1, they came in and the first thing that they did is they locked D.Va in. And with Garden of Terror, you're playing a big map, so globals play a big role here. Like, and as I say, we have a double global. Falstad plus Dehaka. So already indicating that they're totally willing to play around the opponent and try to play the macro game. Alright. Dehaka plus Falstad. I kind of like when a team does that and does it well, but for that you have to really exploit also the size of them. I mean, we've seen games like this before, where on level 20, Epic Mount was also taken by Falstad, and then all of a sudden, you know, you have a situation in which you can really be mega mobile on the map and make those plays. Not only to position yourself, for example, for really good gust, but also because you're trying to just get all of that side lane control that really allows you to pressure the opponent. And in game number 1, we've already seen the Enjoyers do a pretty decent job taking down keeps and letting the objective and also the minions plus catapults really work for them. Now, it wasn't enough at the end of the day to win the map, but they got damn close. The Slug gets banned. It's a shame. Merlin would have been fun. Muradin with a symbiote on top of him. Maybe even an Illidan pick and then Abathar together with that. Oof. That would have been good. There were still times in HTC where Muradin with a symbiote just basically 3v1. But yeah, they banned the slug out, so that's already a sad moment. D.Va again? D.Va and Tacita. Okay. Tacita is also something that we're seeing more often, and I'm absolutely here for it. He's actually a really fun damage dealer. Also to watch, I mean, he can pack a punch. So Tacita is in, and they like that D.Va side lane play. They've already used that in game number 1, and now they're going to do that again. I think you can make more of an argument for the pick on Infernal Shrines, though, because of the space that you're trying to control over the objective. Now, there's tributes, of course, here too, where you can do the same, but I still think that the impact is just much more when you're fighting for the objective directly, like you do in Infernal Shrines when you're attempting to unlock Punisher, compared to simply a tribute battle. Now, Mephisto and Anduin, the final 2 choices for the Enjoyer. So we have Falstad and Mephisto for the damage output. And then the 2 blondies, Jojo and Anduin, trying to keep everybody safe. That leaves us with our final pick for Garden of Terror, our second map. Match point number 1, by the way, for the red team. And it is Zeratul. They go double Protoss over here. Double OP, triple OP with Overwatch as well. So, guys, it's game number 2. Garden of Terror, DDX going up against the Enjoyers. Second game of the series. The Enjoyers down 1 map, and they have to win 2 in a row if they want to move on to the next winner bracket match. A loss here on the next map will drop them down into the losers bracket. We have Mopsio again on the front line, him playing Johanna, Richu on Dehaka, and then Mark Kotzel on Anduin. Even-handed blessings. Every single time I read that name, I hear that I can only think about this. So, yeah, I don't know, might be something wrong with me, but that's immediately what gets triggered in my head. So, Atrax on Falster, we got Arion and Mephisto, and over on the right side, DDX with Lopaka on Tacita, Virgil on D.Va, Shizakid on Muradin, we got Danazovsky on Rega, and Dead Inside with Zeratul. So they're embracing the OP. Double Protoss. And on top of that, also a little bit of good old Overwatch. So, hop little dwarf, hop, hop, hop. Already jumping out here. Zeratul can be a bane for not only Mephisto, but even more so Falstad, of course. So that's something that we're going to see quite a bit here. I mean, down at the bottom of the map, there's already a 3-man starting to move in, and Arian is getting good damage out. The red team, not really very quick to respond to this. But as the game continues, Zeratul will be interesting. How much damage can he do in that backline? How is D.Va going to be able to assist him, and what impact is also Tacita going to have, going into the static charge as his level 1. So, working that damage in. And with the 1 minute mark passed, camps are up, teams are starting to go for them. So right away, we have a couple of camps here locked in. Actually, as I say that, Rega was... oh, okay, he's like timing the camp here. So they want to make sure that they can time this properly and get the maximum out of it. So they want to have the camp assist in the defense against the mercenaries, the bruisers down at the bottom of the map. So that's already working out nicely. The timing, great. We got Feral Heart here for Rega in the meantime. But yeah, that's actually working very, very well for them. They have Siege Giants to assist with the defense, and then they're going to push the lane even further. But that allows them to have only 2 heroes at the bottom of the map right now. D.Va is moving in a bit later. But yeah, level 4 abilities are already kicking in. We got Static Barrier and Furious Spark for Mephisto. So going into a full Nova build here. And trying to get the Lightning Nova as powerful as possible, as D.Va is going through with the nuclear option again. Falstad. They're getting really good damage in on Tacita. Tacita has to be a bit careful here. Only a dead Protoss is a good Protoss. Ask any Zerg player. They can all tell you. It's a truism that has existed for all of StarCraft. Nobody likes Protoss. Well, up at the top, Dehaka. That's obviously the one thing that we also have to really pay attention to with the Enjoyers, the Globals. Talked about it during the draft, but you have now Falstad and Dehaka on the same team, which immediately empowers you to do some really nasty things in the late game and trying to out-rotate your opponent. Not necessarily even fight in big battles, even though you can. Fawcett himself, for example, with a good flying gust can always give you an advantage during the team fight. But just the ability to rotate around, taking some structures out, pushing the lanes, is already going to be pretty big for them. Now, Tassadar is just going brrrr. He's trying to laser everything away down here. And gets a continuous assistance also from Danazovsky. There's a little pocket healer that is already helping. Haven't seen a kill in this one yet. But Zeratul is also slowly getting his stacks on his level 1 talent. Obviously going for Might of the Nerazine build with this one. And there's the walls again. Yeah, one wall after another. They have to be careful with the Haka though. And, well, Rega is already dead even without the Haka. No need to drop him into the bot lane and use the global here. They get the kill even without his help. So, Rega gone, and that is kill number 1 for the enjoyers. They didn't enjoy the end of game number 1, but they're certainly enjoying the start of the second one. That is also an interesting fight. Falstad against Zeratul. And yeah, eventually Zeratul is just going to snack up Falstad whenever he finds some solo on a lane. But Dead Inside now has to ensure that he's still taking care of this. A little bit unfortunate for Richu. Was not able to get the tongue connected. That would have been amazing for him. This is obviously now one of those situations where the Haka could really get a lot out of the global if he pushes the lane out and then moves down to the bottom of the map. But before any of that happens, they have, again, some extra damage on Jojo alone. So, yeah. First seed likely going to end up in the hands of VDX, considering that it's on their side of the map. At the same time now, Muradin with a heavy impact. Tassadar has gone into the Plasma Shield. And then the Arc Discharge. That's his next talent on 7. Zeratul is one single globe away from getting his quest completed on level 1. So, yeah, any second right now. The more mobile he gets, the more of a danger he is to pretty much everybody on the blue team, but more importantly, to the squishies. So, Anduin, Mephisto, and again, the bird. D.Va, yeah, Virgil over here is alive. And might actually get a kill. Holy crap, what? Gets an easy kill here against Falstad. That was a 2v1 that they played out. And he actually got the kill. Light bomb engaged at the bottom of the map in the meantime. So right now they're trying to take Rega down again, and that backfired. But they might still get Mephisto. Mephisto is low. There's a lot of heroes that have basically no hit points left anymore. Zeratul barely makes it out of the fight. I think nobody is really dying here. But damn, that was close. The kill against Falstad at the top though. Really well done by D.Va. Virgil with some sick plays. That was a great kill. Kind of shocks me a bit that nobody died at the bottom of the map. Because everybody was super low there. Nobody falling. But still. I expected at least one hero to fall there. Maybe more than that. But yeah, so far we have only one kill on each side. Falstad attacked again and then healed up by Anduin. But you can tell that he is starting to become the main target. Yeah, 5 versus 5. Light bomb, not doing anything. Tassadar just dropping those walls. He's building something here. Building a legacy with all those walls. But he shut down another light bomb engaged by the blue team. And that is, of course, one of the big dangers coming from the team in blue. Seems like Markotzel just overall really likes that mount, by the way. The synergy that we had in game number 1, I already like that quite a bit. Now he has again a red tint and is using the same mount. I have to keep my eye on this man. Let's see if he changes it up if he can't get a red tint for a hero. Talking about red, Muradin. Is it being a bit of a menace here? Second tribute, second seed now up at the top. Might of the Nerazine is obviously in. We got Archon now for Tassadar. Yeah, he's getting some extra damage in down at the bottom of the map. I gotta say, again, Tassadar is kind of fun right now. He was a shield bot for the longest time in Heroes of the Storm, but now they're getting a bit more out of it. They hope to get that Stormbolt engage. Mirrodin is already saying hello. He will have to fall back here. Yeah. So the parrot croaks a little bit, but not much more than that is happening. They have another camp at the bottom of the map. The Haka is also saying hello here real quickly. Everybody is still able to move out. Yeah, but at the end of the day, obviously, the fort has taken some serious damage. They gave up the seed at the top. They already realized that they were unlikely to grab that. So instead, they just decided that they would do damage at the bot lane, which they obviously did. D.Va is still pushing at the top. Mopsio with Jojo can't really do a whole lot here. So the first tower falls. The gate is also starting to be taken out. And yeah, Virtual has been doing a lot here. Falstad gets attacked again. Has to use the gust to get them all away. And this is starting to become more of a thing. Nice. That was a good connect though. But he's still obviously okay. Zeratul is fine. And, well, needs the Ancestral because now they're coming in from every single angle to take him down. And that's the end. Very good plays by Richu in particular. Connects the Tong, connects the Isolation, gets everything unloaded on Zeratul. And at the beginning, Rhaegar was still enough to keep him alive, but that was just too much to handle. So, no chance to keep him alive further than that. Just too many things. Great coordination from the blue team to make that work. And obviously, they want now the next seed, and they get it. So, 2 seeds to 1, which means that they can threaten the Garden Terrors with the next one. 23,000 damage on Mephisto. And 21,000 on Tassadar. Mirrodin has been an absolute pest the entire time. He's sitting at the sides, he's jumping in, annoying them a little bit with a Stormbolt here, a Skullcracker connect there. And he's just keeping them on their toes. But you can see it on the minimap. He's always engaging into these fights. He knows that they can't really threaten him. At least not without the help of, let's say, the Haka coming in. And also with Rhaegar just always staying just in range. If the shit really hits the fan, he is going to be fine. He's going to get an Ancestral and they're going to be okay. But they want to play this active style where they're always having Mirrodin just sitting at the lane and just doing his thing. And just look at this. Jumps in again. Stormbolt. And there's already Jojo mega low here. Jojo is in a situation where she's like, this kind of sucks. She needs help from Anduin. Another Stormbolt. But now that's where they have to, of course, try and heal him. And that's where the Ancestral was missing. Danazovsky looked at him and was just like, nope, not happening. Too low. So, while I like the active style for Mirrodin, that backfired. They thought they could heal him, they thought they had everything in range, but now they have to give up that seed, and that means, you guessed it already, if they have to give it up, that they're going to lose the Garden Terror. So, yep. Mirrodin dying, huge problem. Rhaegar was not in a position where he could throw that out. Mirrodin thought he was totally safe, and they just collapsed from every angle on him. The Haka, I said it before, once that he appears, it starts to become a problem for Mirrodin because then they have enough CC to lock him down a lot more. And, yep, that's Garden Terrors now. So, 2 forts will likely fall. No, that is not a kill. Well, that was close. Falsa can be very happy that he didn't die here. So, Zeratul is going to try and take that Garden Terror out as quickly as he can. Mirrodin is obviously back, but the fort in the middle has now already fallen. And you guessed it already, the one at the top is not going to fare any better. Or is it? Is D.Va really going to be able to stop this? With the rotation now coming? I don't think so. Isolation already being used here. A couple of heals are coming out. They're trying to go for the Haka. Garden Terror is gone. They go for the birdie. He has to gust them out. And the fort gets destroyed. So the fort is gone. But they're still trying to be a bit aggressive around this. It's just not enough to do anything of consequence. At the bottom of the map, the defense has been okay. Dead Inside is able to save the remaining fort. But it's still a 5 versus 4 at the top. And the blue team is super happy to take these fights. Then again, Anduin gets absolutely crushed. Mirrodin jumps on him. Stormbolt to the face. The wall is out. Now they're going for the Haka. He also explodes. For some reason, Falstad just doesn't die today, it seems. But they haven't given up on getting the kill on him just yet. So they're starting to move in. They want the bird, and they are maybe gonna get him. Well, they are getting everybody else, I can tell you that much. Zeratul is jumping out, and now finally Falstad is dead too. Huge play. Huge play by DDX. They're getting 4 heroes destroyed in total here. So, yeah, some sick moves. Mephisto the first one to fall. They're literally running around the fort, shutting every single retreat path off. And then Falstad has to bite the dust as well. That's now 35,000 damage on Muradin, who's the top damage dealer for DDX. Shizakid with an insanely aggressive Muradin style. It backfired once, but to be fair to him, it also gave them a lot of control over the flow of the game and led to multiple kills now in their last fight. So, still a big plus in my book. I'm trying to go for the next seed here and also steal a few of the camps away. And by the way, shout out to Virgil as well. D.Va with some solid plays throughout the game. Second highest damage dealer for the team right now. And they have taken a 1 level lead because all of this. So 1 level advantage for them, which should lead to an early level 20 talent. And DDX is all of a sudden in a situation where they could, yeah, maybe even lock that 2-0 in. So they're not going for the objective just yet. There's still some pressure at the bottom of the map. Yeah, and I suppose they're going to get this with Muradin right now. But yeah, some sick stuff here. And obviously, Shizakid, again, with him just being willing to engage in these fights, he's stacking damage, he annoys them, he's slowing them down. And he's the one that is just hyper-aggressive throughout all of this. I mean, once again, he does basically the same thing. Stormbolt connects, bam, unloads the abilities, a few more hits in, and then just moves out. And this is the style that he's playing the entire time. They got him once, but now he again slows them. And Zeratul is using the time at the top to take another minion wave out, escort the next camp in, and this is really helping them. Keep in mind, they're playing against 2 globals, so the blue team should have no problem pushing these lanes out. But they are the ones that are getting pushed back, actually. D.Va is pushing in the middle, Zeratul is still sitting up at the top, and the team with level 20 talents on the right side of the map is now grabbing another seed. So this gives us the Twilight Archon for Tacita. We're getting the Stop and Pop. So Bunny Hop upgrade for D.Va. And Zeratul, of course, with a Shadow Stride. Yeah, with level 20 talents, they at least need to get the fort here with the next minion wave that comes in. Muradin, again, ready for a couple of auto attacks. Always hopes to get the connect with Skullcracker, but that's all of the forts now gone. So structurally, the red team is now ahead too. They're ahead in structures, and the next seed is spawning. Now, it should be 20 versus 20 for the next seed, so the Enjoyers might actually fight this one. But, well, here's the next couple of hits through the middle. They're trying to take at least the wall down, but the seed's coming up in 12. But the blue team will have 20. So this is going to be an interesting objective, because now blue team is likely going to fight for this. Yeah. We have on 20 Mimic, which is of course going to be big. And here comes Falstad, flying in already, so can't reposition anymore. And the red team is of course again Muradin is just sitting at the side waiting for an opportunity. But they're not making a player just yet. Lopaka is willing to interrupt whenever he has a chance, and needs to. And while they are doing that, down here, Zeratul is still pushing the lane out, trying to escort some of the catapults in. So there's the double. Stormbolt connects nicely. In comes Arian. And the ult is missing. But they get at least the seed. The problem, of course, for them is that Zeratul has now taken the wall down at the bottom even more than that. So, not too bad. Yeah, Stormbolts, it just, I mean, Muradin is still top damage for the team. Because of all that aggression. And they want him. Isolation on him, they unload everything on Muradin. He's still alive. Where's the Ancestral? What just happened? Ancestral is too late. Falstad is dead too. It's a kill for a kill. I'm not quite sure what happened exactly with Rhaegar. If he got hit by the isolation, I thought it was Muradin. Maybe it was both of them that got connected here. He has Contagion. But Rhaegar with a very late Ancestral. I assume that he was stunned out and was hit by the Contagion here as well. Nothing else makes honestly sense. They saved the rest, and since they traded kills anyways, they're totally fine here. But that was, yeah, Muradin could have survived if that connected a little bit earlier. So the blue team with an important kill, and now they're fighting again for the next seed. Ah, Dehaka with a tongue on the Twilight Archon. Tacita trying to get away. Ult from Mephisto. This time it connects. And Lopaka still alive and makes it out. But the fight also continues in the back. Zeratul is trying to get hits together now. Blessed Shield against him though. He needs to get away from this. And what about the Haka? Can they get the kill there? Rhaegar gets hit and killed. Rhaegar is down. The Archon is barely escaping. And Muradin is back, but probably too late. Without the support, without the healer, I don't think they're going to re-engage here. Falstad has already retreated to defend the mid lane. The seed gets taken. Now each team has 2, which means the next one will spawn Garden Terrors no matter what. D.Va is going for the pew 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 up at the top. But boy, some of those fights. Yeah, they have to wait for Rhaegar now. They took the camp, that's great. This one they will probably have to give up. But still. Right now, there is some sweet plays by them. Also, these catapults at the bottom of the map. That's another problem here. I think the Haka or Falstad, one of the two is going to move down to the bot lane. And yep, the Haka is already here. Muradin is again scouting this out. There's the ult. And yeah, that is a 50-second cooldown that they're burning. Now it connected earlier and really put some pressure on Rhaegar when Tassadar was attacked and they were trying to kill him. But now we have everybody back to business. Twilight Archon will be back in 25 seconds. So a couple of the camps have to be defended. It's true. There's still a fort on the bot lane. And it is a really close game. 6 kills to 6. Level 21 to 22. And here it comes. The seed that could technically even end the game. Depending on how the fight goes, if you get Garden Terrors now 20 minutes in, that could be the end of it. So there's the wind tunnel already used. And that's a big one to burn as well. Zeratul, if he can get one important kill later, that would be it. But they're trying to gather this one quickly. There's nobody to interrupt. They're actually letting this go. What? They're gonna deal with the Garden Terrors. Whoa. Alright. They let the Garden Terrors come into play. And they're just saying, yeah, we're gonna fight. We're gonna defend this. Oh boy. That is a gamble. So they can definitely... They have the tools to defend. Don't get me wrong. But still, that is quite the statement. The lanes are losing heavily. And you have still 2 globals against you. So even after this is done, if you don't take a whole lot of damage, that's fantastic. But on top of that, you also have to consider the lanes will be pushed out against you. Which gives the globals way more wiggle room to try and push some of those minion waves and catapults in towards keeps. So 2 of them have already been defeated. Third one is about to fall. But the map is now very heavily favoring the Enjoyers. DDX is pinned down in their base. The Globals will try to exploit this. Still a decent defense. I mean, again, they didn't lose a single structure. Not even the fort at the bottom of the map. Tassadar has 65,000 damage. So Muradin is not the top damage dealer anymore for the red team. He's now in number 3. D.Va has surpassed him too. And Zeratul is also trying. 85,000 damage though for Mephisto. Whoa, what a game. The series that we had in Group B are thus far quite something. And of course, Richu on the Haka. So many cool plays by him. 38,000, also pretty respectable numbers for him. And D.Va is immediately gone. And Lopaka not hesitating either. Bam! Wall in the face. And Zeratul is still pushing the bot lane out. Putting the catapults in. Somebody has to hearth back. And it's going to be Richu. They take the camp at the top. And now there's another seed. And again, this seed would be a Garden Terror set for DDX. If they get the seed, they take the objective. But the spawn point for the seed is also a little bit meh. So they might just let this one slide. It's not really too bad if they let it go. Again, they are in a great spot because they have currently 2 seeds to 0. So they can technically give this up without any big issues. And I personally think they likely will. For the blue team, I mean, yeah, they're going to get this one. Zeratul is just trying to find any kind of opening where he finds a hero on the map. And they can get a quick kill. But the next seed is likely going to be the one that DDX is going to try and take. They've been really patient with this. They gave up the Garden Terrors earlier and just said like, yep, we don't care, it's fine. We're going to defend. They will likely now lose the fort at the bottom of the map. I mean, there was always a given that this would fall eventually. If anything, I'm shocked that it's still standing, considering that we had an entire objective for them. But they're actually going for it. Here comes D.Va. Alright, with the bunny hop. Zeratul moving in from behind. Gets a little bit of damage in. And has to be very careful that he doesn't get hit by a blessed shield. Big hit from Tassadar. The two Protoss players are absolutely going bonkers on this one right now. Look at Mephisto. Super low. Zeratul is starting to jump out and they're disengaging again. But that was dangerous for the Enjoyers. And now the seed is spawning in 5 at the top. That was really, really dangerous for the blue team. That could have been a disaster. Mephisto was so low, if he dies, they are in a ton of trouble. And now the blue team is obviously going towards the top, expecting the seed to be taken, but the red team is staying a little bit long at the bottom of the map and is hoping to go for the keep here. So, yep, there's a lot of heroes here. Zeratul could try and interrupt once or twice, but has to be very cautious that he doesn't get hit by a blessed shield. Then again, it's on cooldown, it was used before, so that's a free keep at the bottom of the map. That's a free keep right there. Free keep, and they're pushing further. Zeratul is going to try and interrupt the hearth. Jojo is already hearthing. Mephisto is moving back out slowly. Anduin is also moving because they can't hearth back. And the red team is disengaging. But the seed has already been taken. Zeratul now gets attacked. And again, he needs to be careful here because Blessed Shield is back up. He wants to get the kill. Can they get it with Rhaegar? Rhaegar goes down. They tried to be a little bit too cute here. But then again, that's the kill on Anduin. Problem is that Zeratul also falls. So 2 kills to 1. D.Va is dead as well. And DDX is losing 3 heroes here. I kind of liked what they were trying to do. There were a couple of really cool plays that they just executed. But they tried to be a little bit too cute there towards the end. They wanted to get the kills with Zeratul, take them down, and then they lose Rhaegar in the process. They were just a little bit too greedy, attempting to drop, I think it was Mephisto at first. And now it's going to be another set of Garden Terrors, very likely for the Enjoyers, and that's a problem. But I love how they took the keep out at the bottom of the map. They sacrificed the seed at the top, they used Zeratul to prevent them from hearthing back, and they just took the keep out for free. But now they are in that awkward spot where they have to get their heroes back, which they will. But in the same vein, they're going to lose now a few camps, and there's going to be another set of Garden Terrors, and this is most likely going to cost them several keeps. So, yeah. That one's tough. D.Va's going to be back. I'm not sure how they're going to defend against this. Without losing too much. Zeratul is trying to deal with the top lane, but there is a lot working against DDX now. I mean, they're going to try, but what can they actually do here? So, 84,000 damage from Tassadar. Mephisto has already entered the 6-digit club. He's at 101k. 9 kills to 7. And there's a chance for the Enjoyers to slowly make it to game number 3 with this. Topside keep is getting attacked. This one is suffering a lot. Keep in the middle as well. They're going to lose 1 at least, maybe 2. Down at the bottom of the map, they could lose a 3rd. They're losing ground everywhere. The only thing that can win it right now for DDX is a big teamfight victory. Yeah, huge teamfight victory is the only thing that would make it. 1 keep is already down. And yeah, the blue team falls back. So they're actually going to lose 1 single keep. 1 keep is all they're losing here. Not too bad. Defense was pretty strong. You can tell that the blue team is also giving them a lot of respect, and they are a bit afraid of going too hard and then getting murdered. Still, taking guy off that catapult would probably be a good choice, but they are forcing the fight here. Zeratul is coming in. They forced the battle. They want to decide it here. They're going to decide it right here. Ancestral is coming out. Anduin is the first one to fall. Anduin is down. He's not the only one. Mephisto is also dead. DDX with the big plays. Falster, Tassadar, they're both gone, but this is huge. This is absolutely huge for DDX. They take down Jojo. They go for Dehaka. And it's a 5-man team wipe. The entire team is eliminated. 12 kills to 10. And it is DDX on their way to victory. They move down to the bot lane. And they are trying to go for the core. Unbelievable. These guys are insane. They pulled it off. They forced the fight at the end of the game. And they're actually turning it. That was massive. A 2-0 victory. And DDX moves on to the winner bracket final of Group B. And they sent the Enjoyers into the losers bracket. A well-deserved victory. GG and well played.